2 attempts, handed bands over. Sicko hit, shot and miss, 2 to stand over. Breadwinner, huh? Look who in the building. Let me check my Instagram. I might be at 1 million.
What's the deal, my people? You know it is Down Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you with another one. And this one is we're gonna talk about Game of Thrones promo trailer that has just dropped. We are definitely gonna talk about that. What up? I'm sorry I'm late. It is a little bit my fault. I am also Mojini bounced off real quick. He'll be joining me soon enough. But until Mojini gets here, you know I am not alone. Not alone, because I have the hit squad rolling with me. And that is all my cats rolling up with me in the chat. Let me say what up to my peoples real quick out here. Join the Don Tony Teflon right here. And I do appreciate it. What up to my man, London Town 425? What up to Sailor Diva? What up to Joanna K? What up to Christy of Old Stones? What up to Shane 83? What up to the next chat? What up to T Baby? What up to Nancy T? What up to the OTDA? What up to K Love? What up to the Adapted Targaryen? What up to Kristen Olds? What up to Herm's Bum's Mum? What up to Shayna and Charlie? What up to the Dog Show? What up to Phoenix Rising 357? What up to Gambino Capo? What up to my man DJ? What up to LMR Living My Rhapsody? What up to all y'all out here chilling with me? What up to Papa York? What up to everybody? I just sit here and just name y'all, and I'll be the whole show. As always, you know how we do. The Thug Mug is in hand, baby. And we're going to get this. Now, I know I'm going to say this real quick. I know that the Don Tony Teflon realized that people be chilling with the children sometimes watching the Don Tony Teflon. So the Don is going to do his best not to say any profanity as much as I can. All right, I will go. It won't be nothing excessive. I guarantee you, it won't be anything like that. We gonna take it like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. Mo was up in here for a second. He dropped off. You know what I mean? But this is not only going to be the only stream I do. We're doing another stream on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And we are going to go more deep into the Crypts of Winterfell and talk about that. And I'll be joined by small council members. And I'll be joined by Hype Watch members. And I don't know, the Mad Queens too. So we're going to have some people up in there, man. So definitely check us out on Saturday too. We are over here stalling a little bit for Mo, but we're gonna get it popping right now. So you know what I mean. And anytime y'all got a question or something like that, and no doubt, obviously T Baby's coming up in there. You know what I mean on it. We gonna get this thing popping on our own right now till Mo Genie get in it. So listen, we got the new trailer, teaser trailer. I thought the teaser trailer was the best teaser trailer they have ever had. All right. So even when we talk about the long walk teaser, even we talk about the whatever it was called when we had the statues of everyone strangling each other and then crumbling when the snow hit. This is definitely the best one in the build. They definitely saved the best for last. They pulled the Vanessa Williams on us on this one, and I think they did a great job. Now we're gonna talk about it, because there's no doubt a whole lot of symbolism going on up in this piece. And that is what they want us to do by putting this out there. They want us to speculate. They want us to draw conclusions from it. And that's what we're going to try to do. I'm going to use you guys in the chat. I'm going to give you my opinion on it and stuff like that. And we're going to talk about it. But first off, we're not going to go in order, because we're going to get right to this topic right now that I keep hearing people talk about. And that is the old man Jon Snow. Now, we see in the trailer the statue of Jon Snow. It looks aged, all right? There's no really denying it, saying it does look aged. It doesn't look like Kit Harington. But to me, does that mean that Jon Snow is going to outlive everybody and Jon Snow is going to make it to the end of Game of Thrones? I'm going to have to say no. I don't believe that whatsoever. I don't think Jon Snow is going to survive. All right. I don't think there's any way possible that I can see Jon Snow surviving this Game of Thrones. I just don't see it. There's no way possible that Jon Snow sits on the Iron Throne when this is all said and done, and that's just what it is. The bastard became king, and here we go. I do not believe that. The bastard who became the Night's Watchman, who became king. You know, even when you look at the movie Gladiator, right? You didn't see Russell Crowe. Maximus didn't make it to the throne, right? He didn't make it in the end. He couldn't. He can't make it. He just couldn't make it. It's not that type of, and this is more realistic than that. You have to say, it's just no way. It would just be too fairy tale-ish. It's a good image to have, but the man is never going to sit the Iron Throne. Now, I think when we go to the statue itself, I think you can look at real world inspirations of statues. And even when you look at paintings of people back in the day, and then they get their skull and they do the grafting on it, how the people really look, they never look like these paintings of people, you know, and people use things to manipulate themselves. You know, George Washington always had in false teeth so that he kept his jawline nice and straight, you know, and broad and defined for when he took portraits and stuff. So, you know, people manipulate stuff and do things so that they are, you know, remembered in the way they want to be remembered and seen the way they want to be seen. And I think that it's even harder when you're having to draw on an image of someone from someone's memory. You know what I mean? There is no pictures or anything for people to reference. It's going off of memory, and the person who's doing it is going off of their memory. So it's not going to look ideal. I think that's what it is, and I think that is the reason why he looks older. I just think that it's a bad casting of him. That's what I would have to say about that. Without a doubt. So now, after dealing with that, let's go right to the other statues. Now, Arya and Sansa, I will say the same exact thing. I do not think we can predict who is going to live and who is going to die from this trailer teaser at all. I think if they would have gave away that in teaser trailer, that would have been a terrible teaser trailer. All right, you can't give it all away. Now we're talking about being teased here, people. Right? We already went through the teasing situation, so we will not go into that again. You know how I feel about that, how I feel about teasers, right? You got to tease us. You can't give us the full thing. Telling us who's going to live, who's going to die, will be giving us the full thing. And that is the reason why I don't think we could really tell who's going to live or who's going to die. I will say that Arya does look younger. And I think that, you know, she is younger, especially when dealing with the books situation. She's a very young girl in the books, you know, so I think that is the reason why they have her looking so young there, you know, in the thing, because she's just a young person, especially when you look at how old she is in the books compared to how old she is in the show. Obviously, you cannot have an actress play that role, this thing she does at the age she's supposed to be doing it. It would just be crazy to do that. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to see that. People barely want to see her at this age doing it, let alone 9 years old, going around whacking people up and doing things like that, you know, and I don't want to see that. Glenn Carter says, Tony, you called it. Gendry and Sansa, maybe. That is the feather tease. Now listen, thank you very much. I was going to get into this feather situation, but the feather, to me, you know, a lot of people are going to have their own opinions about the feather, but when you deal with feathers, you know, I'll go through it real quick. I'm telling you that when this is done, Sansa is going to live. I know people want Sansa to die. I know it. I know people do, but I'm telling you, Sansa is going to make it. She's making it. If any Stark, remember that Don is telling you this, right? If any Stark has to live after all they've been through, there's only one Stark who's equipped to do that, and that's Sansa Stark. That's it. No matter what Jon has learned, no matter what Arya has learned, it pales into comparison to what Sansa Stark has learned. Sansa Stark, see, in Westeros, and people may think of it like, oh, whoever the greatest fighters are, you have the chance to listen. The greatest fighters are not the greatest people in Westeros. They're not the greatest people in the real world. It's always the politicians who dominate. It's always the politicians, the people who learn how to maneuver behind the scenes. You can get people to fight for you. So you ain't got to worry about fighting. You ain't got to have fighting skills. That's the way it is. That's the way it is in real life. You know, I'm sure, but you grew up in your neighborhood. You had a friend. If someone messed with you and it was too big for you to handle, you had a friend that would be considered your champion, that would step up and say, yo, why are you messing with my friend for? What you doing, man? You got to have to see me if you want to see him. You can always find, and you ain't got no money or nothing like that when you're growing up. That's just based off of friendship. So now you're talking about, if you're talking about people with dough, with money, imagine what people would be willing to do for that with money. All right. So it's not about that fighting skills. If you're cornered one-on-one in a situation, yes. Now, even when you see that situation, who looks to be the safest in this trailer? When you look at it, who's the safest? You see that Snow coming in, and then you see Arya step up with Needle. You see Jon Snow step up with Longclaw, and they're protecting Sansa. She's the safest person in the whole situation without the weapon, because Sansa Stark is making it to the end. There's no reason to put that girl through everything she's been through to kill her. It just makes no sense. It's not good storytelling, in my opinion, and I don't believe that George R. R. Martin would do that. Arya Stark can die. I don't want her to die, but she can. Bran Stark can die. I think Bran has a good chance of dying. Jon Snow is out of here. Out of here, like last year. Guaranteed. There's no doubt Jon Snow is going to die. So when you take all that, there's one person left, and that's Sansa. You're not going to have a girl have fairy tale dreams, get beat by a husband, then get dragged into a false marriage of Tyrion she didn't want, have to escape after getting blamed for a murder she didn't commit, go with Littlefinger to get raped and beat just to gain power and die at the hands of the White Walkers. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. This show is not going to be a bowl of shit. It's not. Sorry about the curse. But it's not. People are not going to eat that. You can't feed people bowls of dookie and expect them to take it and keep eating it and take it. And you can't do that. So Sansa is the one, the redeeming person. She has learned from all the main players you need to learn from. She has learned from. She has learned from Littlefinger, and she has learned from Cersei. The two biggest people you need to learn from. That's all you really need to know. Now she knows how to play the Game of Thrones. That is the difference between Sansa and all the other Starks that we've seen. We've never seen a Stark be able to play the Game of Thrones properly. Sansa is that Stark that can and does now, will play the Game of Thrones properly. What up to my man AU Pack Mule in the building? Joe Swag up in the building. Chillin'. Sailor Diva in the building. Game of Theories with Maria's in the building. Miss Oh So Awesome is in the building with us right here. What up, Ashara Stormborn? Oh, and she says Sansa is irrelevant. I have to disagree with you on all the points I said. Now, going back to the feather theory. Now, I'm telling you that Gendry is going to marry Sansa. That's why Gendry's back. They didn't bring Gendry back just to kill him off. They have done that to people in the past, but I don't believe that House Baratheon will be extinct when it's all said and done. He is the only member left of House Baratheon, so he's going to live. Now, when you look at the book, if you look at the beginning of the show, even in the first book, George R. R. Martin said everything that we can see in the end, we'll see in the first book. So we could see in the first book, the plan was for Ned Stark to marry his daughter to Robert Baratheon's son. But that really wasn't Robert Baratheon's son. This is Robert Baratheon's son now. He will be legitimized, and Sansa will not look down upon him because he was a bastard, because she will realize now what bastards can do because she has seen a good bastard in Jon Snow. And she will be willing to marry him. Now, whether in the books, I think it'll be Edric Storm, and I think that he will just take the name Stark, and that is why his nickname is Ned, and he will become the new Ned Stark. That's what I think is going down. But in the show, we see that Gendry is combined with Edric Storm. So that's why I think that Gendry will get this role. So if anyone has, Gendry is going to marry Arya Stark, it's still a possibility in the books, but I doubt it. But in the show, it's not happening. Arya is not marrying anybody, people. I know it sounds good and people would like Arya to marry people, but it's not going to happen. This chick sleeps with a bag of faces next to her bed. No one is going to marry you if you have, listen, you seen what Lorena Bobbitt did to that dude, right? You seen it. And Arya's only a few feet away from having a bag of those right next to the bed, right? I ain't taking that chance. I don't know about you. Maybe you would. But let me tell you something, man. I'm not falling asleep around Arya. You don't know what's going to happen. That's just situation that just end up terrible for you. Your face and other things can be taken away from you. With Arya, and then she'll be walking around with him like what? Looking at you like, no. Ain't no way. Don ain't going out like that, baby. It ain't having it. You can't get to me. Arya Stark is not married anywhere. Anyone smart to stay away from that. Stay away. And that's it. I think also that's why we also get, Arya says to Gendry, I can be your family. And he says to her, you would never be my family. You would be my lady. And you could take that in context as she's going to be his family. The family is going to be with him and Sansa, and she's going to be family to him. And he will be my lady to her still. It all fits. And then we come down to it, as I said, the feather theory. So we know that when we refer to Gendry, the theme song that plays with Gendry is a bird without feathers. That's the theme song that every time Gendry comes in, that's the name of the music that is played with it, right? When Cersei talks about her son with Robert, she refers to poor little bird, all right? So when we see Sansa, what do they always call her? Little dove, little bird. So when we have Gendry, the bird without feathers, he will get his feathers from Sansa. That's why Sansa's always the one in Lyanna's tomb. She's the one who picked up the feather, and she's the one tending to it. It's going to be Sansa Stark, people. That's definitely going to go down. That's where it is. K Love says thugs need love too. You goddamn right, thugs do need love. Everyone needs love. You ain't walking around with my dong. Mo Genie Linguini, what happened, baby? He just dropped off on me. If I didn't know he was gonna be here like this, I would have came out with the other screen, with the OBS. I still know how to do OBS with multiple people yet. That's why I can't put that up there like that. But I'm gonna figure that out. Look at that, man. We climbing up in here. We got peoples up in the building, baby, watching us tonight. That's what's up. Let's keep going. Let's keep the lights going. Let's subscribe if you haven't. Let's keep doing what we're doing. You know what I mean? June Snoo says, Tony, you tripping. Sansa will play no role in season 8. I think that is just a statement that doesn't mean that's just whack. Come on, boss. How is that possible? When the first teaser they show is Sansa's in it, and she ain't gonna play no role in season 8. Sansa Stark is season 8. You'll see it. This is her season. You're gonna see it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You'll see it. So let's go back. Let's go back to talking about the Crypts and everything else. Phoenix Rises 357 says, we love Teflon TV. Thank you so much. I love you. I'm doing you. T Baby says, I agree with Tony. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Agreeing with me. So it is what it is with those. That's what I think the statues go, and that's what I think how we deal with the feathers situation. Now, let's deal with the comments situation that we hear there. Now, I think that they picked the best quotes they could have picked for each person. I do think they could have did with Ned Stark they could have used next time we see each other, I'll tell you about your mother. They could have used that quote instead. They could have, it would have spilled the same purpose. But that being said, I want to ask y'all in the chat a question. I'll read out the answers. Do you think that Ned will be able to keep that promise to Jon? That he said, next time we see each other, we'll talk about your mother. Now, does that mean that somehow in the dream, he will be able to see this? Jon will be able to see Ned talking about his mother in the past, and that's how he'll be able to keep that promise to him? You think it will be something like that go down? Because there is no doubt that Jon Snow's parentage, when it's all said and done, and this is what this thing was about, it was about Jon Snow getting his parentage, and he's going to get it in the Crypts of Winterfell. That's where it's going to be revealed to him at. Tanya says yes. AU Packmew says it's a dead promise. K Love says yes, yes, yes. House Sanchez says nope, Ned breaks a promise. Cart says broken promise. T Baby says nah, Bran is gonna tell him. Chrissy Oldstone's clues to his parentage are in the Crypts of Winterfell. Dr. Targaryen says yes. I agree what you're saying, but I'm saying I think Bran is going to tell him. But how does Bran tell him? Does this Bran reveal it to him in a dream? Now we know that Bloodraven sent dreams to Rickon, right? And they knew that Ned died and everything. And he said he's seen him in the crypts, and that's why he went down there, right? So could it be a same type situation that Jon Snow, that Bran sends Jon Snow a dream and he sees Ned? And it couldn't be like, I think it's going to be some type of situation like like Odin talking to Thor before he disappears. Nothing like that. I'm thinking maybe just a flashback that Jon could witness himself. Maybe you see him walking with Bran, and this him sitting there, maybe after the Tower of Joy, or maybe him talking to Howland Reed with the baby, saying who he is and everything else. I think it could be a situation like that. But I do believe also that there is something in the Crypts of Winterfell that will point to his parentage. Now, the Don Tony Teflon, you know, if you happen to be a fan of my channel for a little while, you watched a couple of my older videos and back in the day, I'm going to stick with what I said from the beginning. I'm not going to change. Still going with it. I believe that in Lyanna's tomb, we are going to see Rhaegar's heart. Now, I've said this a long time ago, people. You can check it out. 4 years ago. Not gonna keep going anywhere but that. I think that's going to be there. Now, also before, I used to think that Rhaegar's armor would be there because I knew that it had to be something that represented Rhaegar. Now, the reason why back in the day I thought Rhaegar's armor would be there is because we have a dream of Jon being armored in black ice. Now, this is before the Euron Greyjoy chapter came out with the Valyrian steel armor that happened to be black, and now we know that that is going to be the armor of Jon Snow. At least that's what I feel, and that's what the black ice armor is, him in that Valyrian steel armor. So you can check out my video I done that long time ago called Jon Snow's armor. So I think that it's going to be the heart. I said they'll both be down there, but I think it's definitely going to be the heart. The sword Dorm is a very good possibility. I think that's going to be there. Ian said it's going to be Rhaegar's broken condom. You know, maybe that's down there. I don't know if they use that. Maybe the lamb skin one's back. The dragon skin condoms down there. That Rhaegar should be using dragon skin condoms because these damn Targaryens, they be killing these chicks when they have babies with them. I think all these Targaryens should be having dragon skin condoms because every chick they be with, they just be, these chicks don't be surviving after being with them. Something's going down with them. You know, I think about the dragon skin condom. Makes me think of the movie Booty Call. If you ever seen Booty Call, what a great movie! What that is, funny movie and stuff. Definitely check that. But yeah, you know what I mean. You know, yeah. Chrissy also says dragon skin sounds about rough. You know, hey, some people, you know, some people like that rough life. I guess, you know what I mean? I guess it's going down like that sometimes with people like that. All right, all right, all right. So, going on about that. So I think yes, it's a good possibility that Dawn could be down there. Now in the books, I think it's a better possibility of all these things being down there, especially Dawn. Now, yet did we see Dawn in the show? We did. It's just the fact that Jon Snow is so associated with Longclaw that I just don't know if he gives it up. In order for Jon Snow to give up Longclaw and to take up this sword, he would then have to truly cast aside his whole Stark personality, I would think. And I think that when you deal with the situation with Theon, when you deal with the situation of Ned Stark saying, "You have my blood, not my name," I think that it could point in the end that Jon still wants to be, to be a Stark. And I think Longclaw associate Jon with being a Stark. I think if he gets another sword, then he's going to be leaning more towards the Targaryen side. But I think it's a possibility that he does get the sword. And I think that Dawn could be there just for the fact that they did show it in the show, and they showed it prominently. They had him stab it in the ground and show it. Because there's no doubt that Jon Snow has got to do what he has to do as Azor Ahai and take out Daenerys Targaryen and make that light for him. It's going down, people. Going down. There's no doubt about it. Let's go to the chat real quick and see what the chat is saying, the hit squad out here. Because we got a bunch of heads out here. We got over 140 people up in here chilling with us. You know what I mean? We're doing big things, people. Let's keep it going. Let's see what everyone's saying out here right now. Richard Hogg says, Richard Huge. Richard H. Let's go with that. We will, will we see Dark Sister again? Does Mira have it? I don't believe that Mira has Dark Sister. I don't know if we'll see it again. We know that Dark Sister is definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, and with Blood Raven, he definitely took it in the books. I do believe that Arya Stark will have to get Dark Sister. It's her sword. It's a Braavosi style sword. She's been trained with a Braavosi style sword with needle. It would be great to see it come into play and Arya Stark get that, because even in the trail that we've seen and we see her hold out the needle, we know that's not going to be effective. All right. It's not going to be effective at all. We see it with the Valyrian dagger on her hip. I think that's why they gave it to her instead of Dark Sister. They're going to go with the dagger instead. But because that needle is not going to be effective. As we see in the books, there is a quote that Jon Snow says that, you will die with the needle frozen between your fingers. So when I seen her grab needle and look out at the cold, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm very, if anything, I've had to think about it. I'm very concerned about, if any Stark I'm more concerned about. Jon Snow's gone, so I'm not even worried about it. It's Arya Stark. I think that's the concern right there. If anyone's it's gonna die. Now I know people think they're saying that, oh, that Sansa's going to sacrifice herself to save Arya. That's not what this is about, man. That's not what this story's about. That's not what's going to happen between them. I know they said, oh, it's a reversal for the wolves. That's not going to happen. If anyone's going to save themselves to save anyone, it's going to be Arya's going to do it to save Sansa. That's the way Sansa's built. People will fight for her. People will risk their lives for her. That's who she is. People will die so she could live. The Hound will die for Sansa to live. Brienne will die for Sansa to live. Jon Snow will die for Sansa to live. Podrick Payne will die for Sansa to live. All these people will die, will give their life for her so she can escape. She's escaping. There's no doubt about it. So yeah, I think that's what it goes down. Now let's talk a little bit about that dagger. So the fact that Arya Stark has this dagger, and I told you this a while back again, let's just talk about it right now. Any person with a Valyrian steel sword is going to kill a White Walker. That's what's going to happen. That's why they have it. They didn't give him the Valyrian steel sword not to kill a White Walker or to die with it in there. They may die eventually, but they're going to take a White Walker out. And that's the bottom line. So if Arya has this dagger, she is going to take out White Walker. Now, I said this, I thought it was going to happen last year. I really did. But it's definitely going to happen this year. I think the White Walker she's going to take out in the end is going to be Bran. I think she's going to kill Bran. And I think that if we see the Night's Queen, it's going to be Melisandre. And I think it could be Melisandre that Arya takes out also as a resurrected White Night Queen. You could check out my video, War of Fire and Ice, and you can see exactly why I feel about that. And if you want to see the full version, but I'll give you a quick cliff notes of that real quick. The bottom line is that Melisandre will be the Night's Queen. It's a done deal. Take it to the goddamn bank. You can put your house on it. You can put whatever you want on it. Melisandre's the Ice Queen. Even if they don't show it, if they don't show it in the show, they don't do the Ice Queen. They don't. But there's no doubt that that's what's going to happen. She will be the Night's Queen. You will see Melisandre resurrected and throwing ice balls or blue fire, blue flames she'll be throwing, because when she comes on the battlefield, she's going to be throwing fireballs. Just like the children of the forest was throwing little balls of fire with little rocks. It's not going to be like that with her. She's going to be there with the fiery hand, and she's going to be able to throw fireballs. Just like we've seen her take out Vlad Sixskins in the Eagle. Was it Vlad and the Eagle? I do believe it was Vlad and the Eagle, because Vlad had took over the Eagle from this dude at that time, right? When she burnt the Eagle up. Right? Did he take the Eagle over from him when she burnt his ass out of there? But I do believe that that's what happened. So, yeah, I think that's going to happen. That's just showing you right there the power of Melisandre and how she can just cause people up in smoke. And I think it's going to go down like that without a doubt. She's going to set motherfuckers on fire. She will be killed then and then resurrected by the Night's King. And then she will turn herself on everyone, on Westeros people. And Arya Stark will stab her and kill her. It's like Melisandre said, we'll meet again. That's how they'll meet again. That's how it's going down. Richard H. He leaves a super chat here. Let's take a look at this real quick. He says, thank you. Hey, bro, I will be in NYC January 22, 23rd. Let's link up. You know, hit me up on Facebook on that, man. You know what I mean? On my Facebook page. We can talk about that. We see what's good. You know what I mean? We see what it is. And you know, Don don't be just running up. Don just don't be meeting people, especially men. Yeah, you know what I mean? But maybe we can work something out, baby. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we can work something out. Just definitely hit me up. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be around and stuff like that, we can get it. Sailor Diva, thank you for the super chat. Let's get this party started. Indeed, let's get this party started, baby. Let's get it down. DJ says, will the Hound take out the mountain? Will the Hound take out the mountain? I think when we look at the prophecy and we see that of the ashes, face of a hound covered in ashes, and we know that's the Hound, and we see the mountain standing over them both, you know, it's a good possibility that he will have something to do with it. I think is how it's going to go down is that I think that the mountain will get taken over by the Night's King. He will then turn, because I believe the Night's King is coming all the way down to King's Landing. Now, this is what I think is a good possibility what could happen here, all right? I think that if somehow they use the Hammers of Water in the show, if somehow they use it, I don't know if they're going to use it in the show, but definitely without a doubt, in the books, they use the Hammers of Water in the show. I think that they cut Westeros in half at the neck, right? That's where they'll break it. And there'll be the broken neck. It's like the broken arm. That's where they'll cut Westeros off in half. That'll stop half of the Night's King's army right there, over there. They can't get across the water or whatever. For whatever reason, this water doesn't fucking. Oh, I'm sorry about cursing. This water doesn't freeze, right? So now the Night's King's got another set of army, but not as much because he cut him in half or whatever, and the other half is on. So he still flies to King's Landing. You know what I mean? So he gets out there to King's Landing. He's heading out there, and I think then he gets out there, he will then take over the mountain. You will see the mountain's eyes turn blue. That is why he has this big eye hole opening. That's why there's this big emphasis on his eyes. In the books, the mountain doesn't have the head. His head was chopped off. If he does have a head, it's the head of most likely Robb Stark. All right. So that, but they're not going to have a guy walking around with no head in the show. So this is why they have his eyes out there, because I think you're going to see them turn blue. The Night King's going to take over him. He's going to kill Qyburn, and then I think it's going to be the ballista that Qyburn made that's going to shoot the mountain, pin him up against the wall, and I think at that particular time, it could be Jaime Lannister that shoots it, it could be the Hound that shoots it, and then he'll get set on fire, and then he'll die. Mojini, you with me, baby?
What's going on, folks? It's Moji, the king of the North. It's Mojini, baby. It's Teflon TV. It's the bareback barbarians doing what we do. What's good, Teflon?
What's going on, baby? You know, I've been out here holding it down, holding the pound for you. You know what I mean? Waiting for you to get back up in here. It ain't the same without you, man. We got a bunch of people watching with us, you know what I mean? Rocking with us tonight, you know what I mean? Moni G is in the building with us right now. Drinks and No Things is in the building right now. You know what I mean? The Dog Show is in the building. T-Baby's in the building. I know you ain't seen T in a while. You the T-Baby in the building, baby.
Oh, man. I can't believe HBO, they gave us more than a tease this time. They gave us the whole kit and caboodle.
They gave it to
whole kit and caboodle.
They gave it to us. They were giving it to us, baby. They gave it to us. And what was your favorite part of the trailer that you see, Mo Jenny?
Oh, my goodness. All right. Before we get into theories, predictions, conspiracies, who shot JFK, Lee Harvey Oswald, John Wilkes Booth, before we get to all of that, damn, man, just being in the crypts. We always said the truth was in the crypts. And the first trailer, or second trailer, however way you want to look at it, they're down in the crypts. They're down in the Stark Crypts of Winterfell, where the other dead Starks live, where the kings of the North lay. Oh my God, Teflon, tell me you got chills off of that.
Listen, man, when that thing dropped, man, it went right up the Don's spine. Right up my spine. Bubbles, felt it, go up, run up. You know, and I had to drop a video, get a video out there, you know what I mean? Give my first reaction on it, my live reaction and all that good stuff, you know what I mean? Had to put that in there real quick, and that's what I did. People in the chat talking about the word caboodle. Let me tell you about the word caboodle, all right? Because that's what we got there. We got the caboodle, all right? You got it. And you say caboodle, you got to stress caboodle, all right? It's not every day in your life you get to use the word caboodle. All right, that's just not everyday word. You don't just say, hey, you know what I mean? All right, you don't just wake up in the morning and get a chance to say caboodle. And we just got a chance to say that. So you got to celebrate it. You got to celebrate.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right, how you want to do this? You want to break scene for scene? Should we start from the top?
We definitely gonna do that. We gonna go through. First, I just want to know what was your favorite part about it, real quick, and then we go through scene right after that.
My favorite part, easily, if I hear Sean Bean talking, I get the chills up my spine. That man said, from season one, episode 1, you may not have my name, but you have my blood. Chills up and down my spine when I seen Ice. When I seen Ice in his hands. Oh God, season 1, episode 1.
Alright, that's what I'm talking about, baby. That is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Let's see. Julie W says, Tony, you were the first to post a video about the new teaser. It doesn't matter if I post it, folks. YouTube don't got no love for the Don when it comes to sharing my videos out there. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I've never gotten big views from trailer videos ever. I only get views from theory videos and stuff like that. I was gonna stop doing trailer videos, but this one got me so hyped up I had no choice but to do it. It just drew it out of me and stuff like that. We're gonna get into the Golden Company real quick. I know someone asked a question talking about the Thug Mug. The Thug Mug was a gift, so I don't know exactly where I got it from, bruh. So that's what it is. Listen, 146 watching, 90 likes. Let's get that like button, people. Let's get that going. We got over 150 people right now watching. Let's smash that like. Let's get some more people up in here, man. Let's get it popping. All right. So we start off in this trailer. Maybe we should screen share the trailer or something like that. Should I do that? Nah, we could just run it without it. All right, listen, man. We start off this trailer, right? How did things start with Jon Snow walking through it?
Jon Snow, my main man, comes through the crypts. I mean, this is the best way to start season 8. You have to go down in the crypts. Is it Rhaegar's heart? Is it Arthur Dayne's sword of the morning down there? What is down there? I'm so glad they did the crypts. There's so many goodies down there. But this is how it starts. Jon Snow goes down there. Looks like he's searching for something. It looks like he's going down like Sinbad when Sinbad went into Medusa's crypt. Or wherever he went into the Cyclops' cave. It looked like Aladdin going into the tiger's cave. That's what it looked like. If you've seen Aladdin, you know what I'm talking about. Jon Snow went into the cavernous Crypts of Winterfell. And oh my God, he passes his mother's tomb. And then the feather drops and he looks back. What does that mean, Teflon?
Now, that is the exact look back that Ned Stark did at the Tower of Joy. The exact same shoulder, the exact same speed. When Bran Stark whispered to him, that is the exact move we see here by Jon Snow. Now, does that mean that this whole situation that we're seeing is just a vision from Bran? I'm not going to go that far. But that's what we're seeing. That is what it means. It's the exact same situation. Jon Snow looking back, something's calling him. The feather drops. I already talked about the whole feather situation. Won't go back through that. But I think that's what it means. Something's drawing Jon Snow back to that statue. As we know, that's his mother. But I do believe that it's just not the fact. There's something underneath inside that statue. Something buried there that's going to help prove Jon Snow's paternity.
That was the most obvious part of the teaser, in my opinion. That was just basically letting the audience know that Jon will get revealed, that his mom, spoiler, is Lyanna Stark. That's just like the most obvioso part of the whole teaser. I like the rest of the teaser, all right? So then, okay, let's twinkle about with Lyanna for a little bit longer. Robert Baratheon, episode 1, season 1, episode 1, puts that feather in her hand, in the statue's hand, Lyanna's hand, while he's talking to Ned about how Rhaegar stole and raped Lyanna and all the stories before the war. The battle at the Trident, Rhaegar got slayed by Robert, and Robert all these years is still steaming over it. So that feather is significant. That feather is a callback from season 1, folks. And even they called it back in season 5 when Sansa was down there with Littlefinger. And Sansa found the feather on the floor when she went down to the crypts. And then Sansa put the feather back in Lyanna's palm. And then Littlefinger gives her that look when Sansa says, yeah, but Rhaegar raped my aunt. And then Littlefinger gives her that look like, child, oh, sweet summer child. You know that look. That feather has 3 callbacks, man.
No doubt. And I hope at the end of this whole situation right now, my people, I hope the buffoonery, and that's the word I'm going to use right now, for the N plus is A equals J situation is out the window. I don't never want to hear anything about Ned Stark and the Sheriff Dame ever again. Ever. It's over. Sometimes you just gotta just concede and just say, that's it. I was wrong and it's over. It was good. It was funny, but it was never plausible. It makes no sense. There's no reason, as I told y'all back in the day, to hide the fact that Jon Snow is who he is unless he's Rhaegar's son. You wouldn't have to hide him if he was a Sheriff Dame and Ned Stark. You wouldn't have to hide him from that. You would have to hide his identity. Why would you hide that? You only have to hide him if he's Rhaegar's son. So I hope that this is the end of it. I never want to hear it again, ever again. We know who Jon Snow's parents are. If you don't, they're going to spell it out for you. Don't give me this book stuff. I don't want to hear this. It's too big of a deal for it to be a book situation. This is the whole show, is Jon Snow's parentage. They're not going to omit that from the show and leave it different in the books. It will end exactly the same.
It's the story. It's the story of Ice and Fire. Come on, folks. It's the story of Ice and Fire.
Ice and Fire.
Okay. All right, are we done with the feather shoe? Okay, one last thing. Me and Teflon both agree there's something in Lyanna's tomb. Either it's behind her tomb, because nobody ever actually steps into the tomb and actually looks behind it. It's Lyanna's statue and then a wolf of Winterfell right next to her, almost like a guard dog. I actually think the item is inside the wolf. I bet you if you crack the wolf open like a treasure chest, Rhaegar's heart would fall out of it. All right.
How's that jump off now? See, now this is another situation that the hammers of water could be used. If Bran was able to do this earthquake thing, he could shake it and get it there. Now we've seen Tyrion get attacked by Shaggy Dog, right? Was inside the crypt, inside the hole. So the hole's deep. It can hold a lot of stuff in there. This is not a shallow grave there. Big ass Shaggy Dog was able to jump his ass out. Oh, I'm cursing. No cursing, sorry. If Shaggy Dog was able to jump himself out of there. So there's room in there for stuff. There's room. So it's got to be either the harp and the sword or the harp or the sword. It can't be anything else but those. Nothing else makes any sense.
The dude that makes all of the Stark tombs got killed back in season 2 when Theon raided Winterfell. He killed everybody, right? He even killed the blacksmith. The blacksmith is the dude that does the statues.
Yeah, Micken.
Micken's the dude that makes all of these statues in the Crypts of Winterfell, man. And he makes some damn... You remember when the Maester seen Eddard's statue when they made it after Joffrey cut his head off? He was like, has a good likeness. It looks like Eddard very well, Micken.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So let's go on. I already put the whole feather situation recap. The feather was left by Robert Baratheon. Robert Baratheon loved Lyanna Stark. Lyanna Stark is represented now by Sansa Stark. That's why she picked up the feather. Baratheon feather. That also ties into Gendry marrying Sansa in the end. I won't go through the whole series. You could watch it before this. Watch the video in the beginning of it. If you didn't catch it, you came and rewind the video after you're done watching. You can get that theory. Or go back and watch my other video. You'll see me. I break down that whole theory and tell you exactly why Sansa Stark will marry Gendry when it's all said and done. All right. Let's keep it going.
All right, so the next statue or the next scene after we see the feather fall and Jon look back, he walks up on Lord Eddard Stark's statue. He's got ice in his hand. And I wonder if Jon knows that Brienne has has pieces of ice in her sword. I wish to God Brienne tells him that ice got melted down and half of it is in her sword and half of it is still inside Widow's Wail back in King's Landing. Because ice needs to come back to Winterfell.
Well, Jamie Lannister's got that Widow's Wail on his hip now.
Oh, Jamie's got Widow's Wail?
Yeah, he's holding that down.
Well, I hope to God Brienne tells Jon or Sansa that your father's great sword got melted down by Tywin and it got split into two swords. I hope she breaks it down. I mean, somebody's going to ask her sooner or later, where did you get that Valyrian steel sword from, Brienne? I didn't know House Tarth had a Valyrian steel sword. Everybody knows which great houses have Valyrian steel, and House Tarth ain't one of them.
Well, it's got a big lion's head on the pommel. You know what I mean? So it's got a big lion there. It's not hard to tell whose sword that is when you see the lion up on the bottom of that. You know what I mean? So I think Brienne's getting the pass right now. She has proven her loyalty, but when Jamie Lannister takes the reign, he's gonna fall. You know, what if Arya Stark gets Widow's Wail from him? Because Jamie Lannister's gonna die. That's a given, right? You believe that, right?
No. I believe Arya's gonna die and Jamie's staying alive.
No, what do you mean no, Mo? No, Mo. What do you mean no, Mo? What do you mean no?
I like Jamie too much. I like Jamie too much. I like him too much. I don't want to call it quits on Jamie yet. You know what I mean? Let him be the Lord Commander or something. But anyways, somebody told me that I think the Sansa Catelyn scene was before that. Sorry if I skipped that. We'll just do it right after this. So basically, Jon looks at Eddard's statue and it says, "You may not have my name, but you have my blood." So call back again, back-to-back callbacks. All right, now Sansa goes past Catelyn's statue, and what does she say, Tefqueenie?
She goes past Sansa's statue and she says,
Catelyn's
statue, and she says, "All this harm is before my family, all because I could not love a motherless boy." If paraphrasing it in those words, and I think
that's exactly what she said. All this befell my family because I couldn't love a motherless child.
And I think that is the most sensible quote that we could have gotten. I heard some people saying that quote didn't make any sense, but I think that quote makes perfect sense. Because when you look at the situation, what happened with Jon Snow, when she told that story when she was with Talisa, she said that Jon Snow at that particular time was about to die. He had a fever. She went in there and she told the gods of the seven, "If you spare this boy's life, I will love him like my own son. I'll raise him like he's my own." And then when the seven did spare his life, she couldn't do it. So she felt like she cursed her family, and all these tragedies that befell her family is because she didn't keep her word to the sevens in that room that night. And it's quite possibly that could be true. So I thought it was a really good scene. You know, Catelyn Stark, it shows that she's a little bit more human in the show than she is in the books. She's a little bad in the books. You know, she's a little bad. She's a little uppity in the books. But I'm not going to defend Catelyn's treatment of Jon or anything else in there, but I do understand her fear of Jon Snow. You know, the fact that he looks so much more like Ned than her own kids. And this is supposedly another woman's kid. And she sees this every day. And, you know, and so, you know, she's, and, you know, this, when you deal with people like Catelyn, you deal with succession, you deal with all this stuff, and all that stuff goes through her mind. But I'm not defending her in any way, but I do understand why what she was going through. What you got to say about Catelyn?
I mean, he looks so much like a Stark growing up. I mean, that was the real kiss of death for Catelyn. Like he had so much Stark in him, you know what I mean? Whereas Robb, Sansa, you know, Rickon, they all had, you know, that red Tully hair. You know, Bran Brandon, I mean, Arya probably, that's why, they both got along because she looked more Stark. But really, that's what Catelyn was mad about, and having a bastard, having your good name tarnished. The Starks are the truest family, but old Ned got a bastard though. Old Ned still got himself a broodmare during the war. That she didn't like. She didn't like the gossip. She didn't like the gossip that Ned Stark, did that, and I wish that she could have lived to find out. Man, all of this had to happen. All the bad things that happened to their family had to happen so John can become what he became. So it's all destiny.
Mhm.
She thought that all these bad things that befell her family, Ned getting killed by Joffrey, Robb going to war when he was so young, you know, all these things, but really it was destiny. All this had to happen so John could become what he became. And this whole trailer is about John. Every scene, one by one, is about John, except the last second before. We'll get to it, but pretty much the whole trailer is about John. Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, it's basically about John's parentage and how it's going to affect the other Starks and the rest of the show, I guess. But it's just like, to me, it's like John's going to find out about his parentage. I don't really think it's going to matter because he's going to die. So I really, in the end, unless there's something special that he has to do and this bloodline is going to cause him to do it. That's the only thing I could see that is Azor Ahai. And then that's the only thing special. But he has to die before it's all said and done. Maybe he can make a declaration, a decree, something, as everyone recognizes him as king, and then he dies after he says it, or something like that. But maybe then he'll give the 7 kingdoms to Sansa or something like that, and then that would be it.
I mean, Sansa was always built to rule. If you saw that last trailer bit that HBO sent out when Daenerys comes to Winterfell, and it's basically a callback to season 1, episode 1, when Robb Baratheon comes to Winterfell and he's greeting all the Starks, and then Eddard says, "Winterfell is yours, my grace." Sansa says the exact same thing to Daenerys. She says, "Welcome, your grace. Winterfell is yours." It was an exact callback. Did you catch that when you saw that?
No doubt about it.
It was an exact callback, man. But I don't know if Sansa knows that Jon's in bed with Daenerys yet. I cannot wait till Sansa finds out that Jon is in bed with Daenerys. Then she might think that Jon's switching sides. And you already know there's beef coming between Daenerys and Sansa. You already know.
Yeah, it's gonna be some type of hate and stuff like that, a little bit of hate and stuff. But I think that once Gendry gets back and he starts flexing those muscles, I think that Sansa's gonna be off getting her own thing. You know what I mean? Once she's doing her own thing, with Sansa bored right now. You know what I mean? Because she around all these men and none of them is stacking up. None of them is worthy for her. She's got to have someone that's worthy for her. Gendry, the man, he's a man. So I think she'll leave Jon alone. When you deal with them situations when you get those exes and you hope your ex, you get to that point. People in the chat, answer this question for me. Have you ever had an ex that you just hope would find somebody else so they would just leave you alone?
Even better than that. I can't wait till Sansa finds out that Jon is her cousin and really not her half brother. That's the moment. I can't wait for that scene more than I can when Sansa finds out Dany and Jon are in bed together. What's she gonna say when she finds out they're cousins, bro? You think she's gonna look at him different, like he's not really my brother?
No, I just think she's gonna think it gives her more claim to Winterfell. I think it's going to make her think that she has 100% claim to Winterfell once she realizes that that's not the brother. It makes her the oldest. and that gives her 100% claim to Winterfell. So, that's the only thing she cares about is being safe. Sansa,
What about if they become kissing cousins? If she finds out that he's really a cousin and he's not really a brother, and maybe she can marry him. They could be kissing cousins.
It could have happened if Jon was gonna live, but I just can't see him being there. I can't see him being there in the end. You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why. If Dany died and both of them lived, then I could see that going down all day without a doubt. But I can't see Jon. Jon ain't making it, man. No,
bro.
Name me ever, real quick. If anyone in chat, you name me a show, anytime in any show, ever, that a character has come back to life, a hero has come back to life and stayed alive. Every time it happens, they come back to life. They have a mission that they have to do. As soon as that mission is over, their job is over. They go back to whatever they were doing, which was being dead. That's what's going to happen with Jon Snow, the same exact situation. And I think that the problem with Bran is that in the end of this whole situation, I don't think there's going to be any magic. And if Bran is connected to the magic, he may go, or he may just revert back to Bran Stark himself and forget like everything ever happened. I don't know.
Everybody in the chat saying ew, ew to Sansa and Jon. Jon and Dany getting it on, and she's his aunt. She's his aunt.
People hate Sansa Stark.
Wouldn't you rather him get with his cousin and be kissing cousins than be getting with his aunt? Come on now,
Jon. So you can't. It's just too much family incest going on here. I don't know if he could do Sansa. The incest would just be. I don't know if you could end the show. That's like I said. People talking about this baby. You're gonna really end the show on the baby, the incest baby sitting the throne? I don't know if it ends like that. I just don't know if it goes like that.
It's just crazy how much Sansa hate there is, but people don't care that Jon and Dany are aunt and nephew. It's like just totally regarding that shit. But anyways,
yeah. Go on with this.
So then the next scene is all three Starks. We finally see Arya. Arya didn't get a call back. She didn't get a call back, if I'm correct, right?
For what? Say it again.
She didn't get a call back in the trailer. There was no.
No, only is when they said motherless child, it switched to Arya. So it could be taken that she's a motherless child because Catelyn left. And we also we hear Bran talk about that, too. Why did she leave the family? It's supposed to be family to Maester Luwin. It's supposed to be family duty, honor, families first. Why did she leave the family? So the fact that he said that and they showed Arya, it could be taken that. Also, we have other people in there who are motherless too, who has no mother, who's out there. Jon Snow's a motherless child.
I mean, Sansa's a motherless child too.
Sansa, you could say, is motherless out there. I don't know about Brienne's parents or anything about that, but maybe she's out there. There's a lot of people out there, no moms, and see how their life turns out without their moms in their life. Not that good. So I think that's the only thing we have with Arya watch. But I will say this: with Arya's corridor is very skinny. It's very tight around her, the one she's walking through. I mean, I think that this is not a scene, any of these scenes that we're going to see in the show, but I do think that this set is fully built out, which means we're going to see this set in the show, a lot of it. And I do believe that the White Walkers will make their ways to the Crypts of Winterfell. Now, does this mean, Mo, that it's quite possible that we see the rising of the undead Starks attacking people?
Oh my God, man. If the Night King goes down there and then wakes up all the kings of winter, even the one, Torrance Stark, the one who bent the knee to Aegon the Conqueror, but then they turn on the Night King and fight for Winterfell because Winterfell got magic. Winterfell got magic in it, all right? There always must be a Stark in Winterfell, all right? What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean the dead bodies always have to be in the Crypts of Winterfell? Does that mean that there has to always be an heir staying alive at Winterfell? What does that mean? It will be sick to find out. And the Starks of Winter wake up and start fighting alongside Jon. Like, imagine Jon's cornered in the corner by Lyanna's statue, and Eddard's body wakes up. Torrhen Stark's body wakes up. All the wolves down there next to the statues wake up. Wouldn't that be sick?
That would be nuts. That would be nuts. I don't know if they could pull all that off. I mean, they got a big budget, but I don't know if they could pull all of that off and do that. You know what I mean? I do think that the Whites will make their way down there and they'll chase them out of there. You know what I mean? Because I think that's the last retreat. The place they're gonna retreat is out through that place right there, through the crypts. Maybe they could collapse the crypts on them while they make their escape or something like that, and that's how they get out of it. Or maybe the wolf pack gives them enough, a breather. The wolf pack starts taking out enough people that they can go and get a breather while they escape or something like that. Because obviously the wolf pack does have to come into play in this situation too. So, but I think
the Crypts got magic. The Crypts got magic. I don't even think the Night's King can go down in the Crypts. I think there's too much magic down there. There's something down there that we don't know about. There's just too much magic. Facts.
Listen, it could be some type of ward situation. It could have some. I've never heard any reference of oily black stones in the crypts, though. If that is what the magic is deriving from this oily black stone that's placed in the base of all these places, I don't think I've ever heard of oily black stone being in Winterfell. You would think that if Bran the Builder built all these spots, that they all have some type of magic in there, because it seems like he has some type of magic. He's able to defeat the Storm's Guard and Storm's End and everything. Even though I still think the wall's a hoax. I think the wall didn't have any magic in it whatsoever. I think that's just a hoax.
People don't realize the Crypts of Winterfell are effing huge. When you read the books, there are thousands of dead Starks in the Crypts of Winterfell. When you watch the TV show, you only get to see the one corridor where Lyanna's body is, the newer Starks, where they're gonna be buried. Eddard's already buried there. Catelyn's already buried there. Lyanna's already buried. That they only show you one corridor. In the books, there are thousands of Starks buried in the Crypts of Winterfell. You know what I mean? Bran the Builder might even be down there. You know what I mean? And each one of their statues has an iron sword on top of it. What does it mean that they have an iron sword on top of every statue? Is that so that when their bodies wake up, they got a weapon already?
You know what I was thinking? This is what I was thinking, Mo. I don't think I've ever heard anyone else say this. So it's a goddamn Tony Teflon exclusive going on right here. Tony Teflon the Don exclusive. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna happen or whatever, but it could happen. What if Bran starts going to need, if somehow Bran starts going to survive this whole situation, right? And the Three-Eyed Raven situation is going to survive, he's going to need a new tree to sit underneath, right? Because there's one beyond the walls already dead and stuff. Is it possible that when this is all said and done, after the Night's King's battle, after King's Landing, after anything, if Bran Stark survives, that he will go underneath into the crypts by the weirwood tree, and that's where he'll get locked into the tree and get stuck underneath there?
Oh man, there's just so much tinfoilery we could do on the Crypts of Winterfell. We'd be here for days. You know what I mean? But damn. Okay, so let's look at the three crypts for Jon, Sansa, and Arya. Their tombs are already built. Man, it's so crazy because like Starks already make the tombs for themselves while they're still alive, right? So Jon's tomb's already there. I don't know where Robb's is. They don't even have Robb's body anyway, and Robb's head is on the mountain's head, on the mountain's body, in my opinion. Anyway, I think Qyburn snatched up Robb's head. took it back when Tywin set that shit up with to kill Robb. I think he took his head. I think he needed proof, and he kept Robb's head, and then Qyburn played around and put it on the Mountain's body when he revived him. But so Robb's tomb, they couldn't build a tomb for him because they didn't have no bones for Robb. But they got Sansa, Arya, and Jon, right? I swear to God, doesn't Jon's statue look older than Sansa and Arya's?
Yes.
Sansa and Arya's statues look like little girls. Jon's statue looks like he's 60 years old. Dog, I feel like Jon's gonna live a long time. Jon's not dying.
You think that means that Jon's not dying because that statue looks like he's old?
110%. That doesn't look like a right now Jon Snow. That Jon looks like he's 60 years old, bro. Go look at it.
I discussed this a little bit before you got up in this piece, you know what I mean? But let me put it like this. It does look like he's older, but I can't see that meaning he's going to live to the end. It's just impossible. There's no way he's living to that.
Look at Ned's statue. Look at how young and handsome Ned's statue looks. And then look at Jon's statue.
But it don't look like Ned. I think that it's just a place where, you know, it's just a guy who don't have a picture. He's going off it. And, you know, when you're trying to do people with beards and stuff like that, it just don't be coming off right. And I think it just don't come off right. You know what I mean? I just can't see it. I mean, because you can't really deal with it in a realistic sense like that because there should be no women down there, right? There's no women down in the crypts. Only Lyanna's the only one, and that's special. There wouldn't be any other statues. There ain't no Catelyn Stark or Sansa Stark or Arya Stark down there or anything like that. You know what I mean? So to me, I just think it's a bad thing. If you want to say that you think that it's because he's gonna live, I feel you on that. You know what I mean? But I don't know about that one right there.
I mean, it's tinfoil. We're going on tinfoil, man. And look at Sansa's hairstyle. Look at Sansa's statue's hairstyle. That's her hairstyle from season 1. And then Arya's statue has needle in it. And it looks like she's wearing a winter coat. It looks like what Arya looks like right now. But why does Sansa's statue look like Sansa from season 1? Just look at her hairstyle. It's not her hairstyle right now. It's her hairstyle.
She's got that. She's got the same hairstyle, that northern hairstyle her mom's got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Northern hair. I would say that really more than that. If you look at the trailer, I would think that Daenerys is copying Sansa's hairstyle, and she walk up into Winterfell, trying to look a little northern there. Richard Howell hits us with the super chat and says, "Let's get some money flowing, guys." Tony, what happened to Benjen at the end of season 7? Thank you. Benjen Stark got eaten by the whites.
Oh yeah, somebody in the chat said technically only Robb's statue should be in the crypts. And you're right. You're right. Only the Kings of Winter are designed to have their statues down in the Crypts of Winterfell, or the Warden of the North. Technically, you know, the Wardens of the North were the Kings of the North. So technically, Eddard built Lyanna's statue because he loved her so much. That's why Lyanna's statue's down there. I don't know why Catelyn's statue's down there. They gave her a tomb, I guess because of the Red Wedding. But technically, only the Kings of Winter are supposed to have tombs down in the crypts.
No doubt about it. Thank you, Julia W., for the super chat. We do appreciate, no question there. But there's no doubt we do appreciate that, though, right there, real quick. And that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be just the Kings of Winter down there. You know, I have a video of Jon Snow with the Kings of Winter I did about 4 years ago. You can check that out. And it tell you, we took a little bit of theories and all that about how Jon Snow is going to be considered the King of Winter when it's all said and done right now. And it seems like that is the way it's going down. So what else have we got going on in this trailer, baby?
Bro, I think the whole trailer is Bran sending, all those voices are Bran. Why is Bran not in the teaser trailer? I think Bran is sending all of them a dream. I bet you they all wait. Imagine right after the scene that they see all of their statues, all of them wake up at the same time. Imagine if that was a scene in the episode, that they all wake up and it was Bran that sent them all a dream.
It could be. As I said earlier before, that it's quite possible that this could be Bran, and the same way that we've seen Rickon get the image of his dad dying, and that's why he went down to the crypts. It could be a situation like that Bran sends the dreams to Jon Snow and shows him Ned Stark talking to Lyanna or something like that, and shows him, or talking to Howland Reed, and shows him that you know, of his birthright. I think the crypts, that I think it's gonna happen in the physical by Sam Tarly or someone inside the crypts. They're gonna say it when he's down there and tell him this is your mom. Or he's going to touch the statue and touch John's hand, and something's going to happen, and it'll do some type of flashback or something like that. At least I hope that. I'd rather see it happen in the flashback than him just say it. It'll be more dramatic for me, at least, to see it go down like that. Look at all these people we got chilling with us, man. It's amazing. And I really do appreciate it out here with everybody out here. So many new cats up in here, too. Thank you for chilling with us and all that good stuff like that. I met Boss Mode is up in the building up here. Sansa ain't no weapon. She ain't playing. She's a plaything for everyone. Oh, wait a second. Sansa ain't no weapon. She's a plaything for anyone. Boss Mode says. I think she probably was a pawn for a little while, but I think she knows the game now, and now she's the queen on the board, baby.
She got taught by the best man in the business, Littlefinger. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait till Varys meets Sansa. I would like to see that situation, and then like Varys knows that she was the one that sentenced Littlefinger to die, and then he gives her some knowledge.
Yeah, that you know, it could go down like it could go down. Varys is out of here too. I think he's out of here quick too. I don't think Varys makes it out of episode. Wait a second. Let me think about this real quick. Varys is gonna join. Episode 4 he goes.
Varys is gonna go join the merman with Patchface down under the sea.
Yeah, episode 4, Varys is out of here. I really would like to see him go out in episode 2, but I think it's episode 4.
Oh, you know what? Varys and Theon are gonna go on a merry trip together in the free cities.
You know, Varys is, you know, he's Varys is gonna Jenny of Coldstone says Varys is gonna betray Dany with the Golden Company. T Baby says, how does he die? How does Varys die? I think Varys probably gonna get eaten by a dragon. What do you think?
Oh man, God, I can't wait to see the dragon at Winterfell. Like, golly, man, like, where they gonna keep him? They gonna keep him outside?
You know what? They can keep him. You see, they can barely keep one in there, let alone a dragon.
Oh man, I cannot wait. Like, once Sansa knows that Dany got dragons, you know, the cards is up. You know, like, she got the ace. She got the ace of spades. You know what I mean? But yeah, I can't wait to see everything at Winterfell. This shit is just too exciting.
No doubt about it. Drinks and know things down in Crypts with the clutch of Verimax's age. Drinks and know things, the fan of Teflon TV. You know, the dog show. Varys will die killing Mel. I don't think Varys got it in him to kill anybody with his own hands. I don't know if we're gonna see that. Geordie Jedi, where the hell is Ghost? Where is Ghost? How come we didn't see Ghost in this trailer?
Ghost is just editing. It's just bad editing. They had all the money for the dragons last season. They didn't have nothing for the wolf. I mean, they're gonna call back Ghost this season. They just have to, because you went a whole season 7 without showing us Ghost, right? He didn't show up in a single episode, right?
Mm-hmm. Not
Yeah,
one.
yeah. They're not gonna be able to do that in season 8. They gotta show us Ghost like chilling in the corner somewhere, eating a bone, or just something. I mean, how could they not have Ghost in battle at the Battle of the Bastards? I'm still baffled to this day.
I think they said they had to pick between the dragons and ghosts, and they went with the dragons. What up to the boy one chilling up in the building with me, baby? Queen of the ice and fire. You know what I mean? Is up in the building with us right now. Everybody up in here chilling with us. Sly the Tank, Benji is up in this piece. You know what I mean? So, but nah, you know what I mean? They're gonna have a lot of ghosts this season because they're gonna have the wolf pack. You know what I mean? So they're definitely gonna have to have a lot of ghosts, a lot of Nymeria. Maybe Ghost runs off of Nymeria when it's all said and done, and those two go off together.
I mean, I don't think Ghost would ever leave Jon's side, but if Jon like did what Arya did in season 2 or 3 or whatever, when the Lannister soldiers were looking for Nymeria after she bit Joffrey, and Arya like threw the rock at Nymeria and told her to go. If Jon like threw a rock at Ghost and was like, "Go, boy, go into the woods," and like he saw Nymeria's wolf pack, I think he might join him.
No doubt. What up? The queen is in the building. Got to pause everything when the queen comes through the building without a shadow of a doubt and stop it all. It all stops when the queen comes through the building. What up to the queen? Straighter Cheryl, thank you so much for being up in here. Happy to see you so much. Let's continue now. We can continue after we have blessed the queen. Let everyone know the queen's in the building. All right. Yeah, listen, Mo. Out of all the teaser trailers we've seen, is this the best one you've seen so far for Game of Thrones?
110%. Last video we did like a month ago, we both said they need to stop throwing, teaser, like super weak teasers at us with like 2 scenes in it or like 2 pictures. They gave us the whole kit and caboodle in this one. And I don't get to say kit and caboodle too much.
No.
Teflon already said it. They gave us the whole kit and caboodle, baby.
No doubt about it. It was really a great teaser. A lot of foreshadowing. I think we can pull up out of here. I think it really did a great job. Julie's out there. Julia, thank you for chilling. Julie W., thank you for chilling with us. Have a good night. You know what I mean? Sweet dreams and everything else. Listen, I'm ready for the real deal steal. I'm ready for actual footage from this season. I'm ready for it now. I'm ready for it. We got right here JJBX22 God. Bran equals a Night's King. Yeah, Bran does equal a Night's King. Ain't no doubt about that, man. Ain't no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. I guarantee it. When it's all said and done, that Bran's the Night.
I think it was intentional not showing Bran in this trailer. I really think it was a dream. I think it was a dream. I hope that's how it comes out.
There's no doubt that there's a reason why they didn't show Bran. They could have put him in there if they wanted to. It's because Bran is the enemy. And when it's all said and done, Arya Stark is going to have to use that dagger that Bran gave to her. That's why he hesitated when he gave it to her. And she's going to have to take his ass out.
I mean, that's such a good theory that Bran gave Arya that dagger because Needle isn't Valyrian steel, and he knew that at one point she'll have to kill him, and the only way she'll be able to kill him is with Valyrian steel, so then he gives her the Valyrian steel dagger. Oh, God, that'd be a sick theory if it comes true.
It's coming true, baby. Because you know what happens when the Don comes up with these things. They all come true. That's the way it usually goes, people. I ain't trying to brag or anything like that. I'm just telling you the truth. I have a lot that got wrong, but most of them come right. And this is definitely coming right. It has to come right. When you look at George R. R. Martin, and he tells you from the beginning that there's no evil coming from the mountains. There's no ultimate evil that's coming over just trying to destroy humanity. What other storyline, could you give the Night's King that makes sense in the show to make him worthwhile?
What Bran?
Yeah, I'm saying the Night's King. What else?
Oh, we didn't even talk about the feather at the end getting frosted over. We completely forgot about that in the trailer.
All right, we run into that. What up to my man Joe Swag? Thank you for the super chat right there. He says, "Strength, thank you for streaming tonight." Nah, man, thank you for stopping by. Thanks for everybody stopping by. Thank you everyone who subscribed that while stopping by. Thanks to everyone who hit that thumbs up button, baby. I really do appreciate that. Over 160 people in the building tonight, chilling and right there. So what I'm saying is that it has to go down. There's no way to give the Night's King a valid, interesting backstory unless he's Bran Stark. There's nothing else you could do. The only other way,
Or Bran the Builder. He could be Bran the Builder.
I just don't think it's established enough in the show. I'm looking at the things that would shock the audience. If all of a sudden the Night King's melted away, his face just melted away, and his real face was revealed, and it was Brandon the Builder, people were like, "Who the hell is this guy?"
But we already saw the Children of the Forest make the Night's King, man. In season 5, when they put the dagger inside that man, the first man.
And we've heard Blood Raven say to Bran, if you stay too long where you don't belong, you're gonna drown. Which means that if you stay in the past too long, you're gonna get stuck. And that's what Bran, every time Blood Raven, we kept seeing him pull Bran out, pull Bran out. Bran never wanted to leave. He was always pulling Bran out. Only time Bran came out on his own is when the Night King scared him, from what we've seen. So when you look
with the frost scale,
yeah,
when you hit him with the frost scale.
So you look at it like that, I think that Bran's got to get stuck up in there in the past. So I think it's quite possible that guy getting stabbed in the tree could get stuck up in that cat. And that's
golly. I mean, I would like it if Bran sacrificed himself by fighting the Night's King inside of a dream. The way that Blood Raven died in the Matrix, where his body just floated away when the Night's King killed Blood Raven in the tree. I would love to see Bran die like that, like giving his all to fight the Night's King inside of a dream.
Yeah, but see, he got killed in the real world, and then we seen his body go out. But we don't know if Blood Raven really died there. We don't know that for fact. It seems like he did, but he had transferred all of his consciousness into Bran Stark at that time. You know, because the last thing we seen between Blood Raven and Bran was Blood Raven's eyes go back, and he forced Bran's eyes go back, which basically is a warging situation where it's possible that Blood Raven could have warged Bran and just jumped into his body at that particular time. You know, so it may not have been in there in his own body when the Night's King killed him. He could have already been transferred into Bran.
Yeah. Blood Raven definitely let Bran download all his knowledge. He died inside the Matrix, so that means Bran's got all of Blood Raven's knowledge downloaded in the Matrix. That's how it works.
No doubt. I see his Drinks and Know Things is in the building. And I know Drinks and Know Things. I think that is a channel, a YouTube channel. Check out that channel, Drinks and Know Things. They're very, very, very good. I've seen them a couple of times myself. And Don, I can tell you to go check them out. So go check out Drinks and Know Things YouTube channel. If anyone wants to put their link in the chat, it's okay to put their link in the chat. They cool people. I don't do that for everybody. Not at all. Not at all. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But no doubt, man, this was epic. I'm hyped up about this, man. You know, but Modesto Castillo, thank you for the super chat. He said, Teflon, Don, you are the real deal. No, I thank you. I try to be, you know what I mean? And thank you for coming out here and representing with us. You know what I mean? I try to keep it real. I don't try. I just got to. I got no choice, man. All I can be is me, and this is what it is, and that's it. Thug mug in the hand. You know how it goes. I'm chilling tonight. I got all my peoples with me. Over 160 joints. Queen Strays in the building. AK-47's in the building. You know, as I said, Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern time, doing a live stream. AK-47 gonna be up in that piece. We got Lady D Grit is gonna be up in that piece. T Baby is gonna be up in that piece. As always, Mojini gonna be up in that piece. Charlie Westeros gonna be up in that piece. 2 p.m. Eastern time, Saturday. Check it out. Without a doubt. Queens is in the building. That's always Don is in the building. Always repping, and that's what it is. Subject is going to be we're going to go through the whole Crypts of Winterfell, every scene of the Crypts of Winterfell, Jon Snow's dreams in the Crypts of Winterfell. We'll go through all of that, and it's going to have a good time doing that and all that good stuff.
I think we don't even have to talk about the feather frosting over. I mean, it's just pretty obvious. It's basically letting everybody remember that the Whites and the Night's King are coming. But is Eddard, what's his name? Dolores Ed and Tormund still alive though?
No,
Are they gonna make it to Winterfell?
We shall see. We are not going to end the stream right now. We're still going for a little bit longer. So people wondering why I'm saying that we're ending the stream. How Sanchez? No, we still up in there. Queen, you don't need an invitation. You're always invited. You just gotta say whenever you're ready to do it. It's gonna be a great time on Saturday and stuff like that. Now, Dolores Ed. I don't know if Dolores Ed is alive. I think they're alive right now, but I don't think they're gonna make it to Winterfell. I think they gotta die before that. We need to see people die every episode and die bloody. And I'm not talking about a couple of people here and there. I'm talking about a bunch of people. So I think that maybe one of them makes it and the rest got to go. So Ed's got to go because Jon Snow said, don't knock the wall down while I'm going. He did. He's got to go. Tormund will make it back.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I can see Tormund coming back to Winterfell by himself, half dead, like on a horse, half dead, and everybody else didn't make it. Dolores Ed is done for the show. He's dead. I can see that happening. But, like, the Night's King is on a dragon. I mean, he's going as fast as he can. He should make it to Winterfell by episode 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's 3 because Miguel Sapochnik is directing episode 3. And that's the guy who did Battle of the Bastards and all those things. So we know that it's going to be 3.
Yeah, 3 sounds good because, I mean, he's on the back of a dragon. I mean, he's going to be there in 2 seconds.
No doubt about it. Derek, thank you for the super chat. It's all good, brother. I appreciate the super chat, and it's all good. Thank you for the shout out, and thank you for the Patreon support. My long time Patreon people out there really do appreciate that. Y'all have no idea how much that helps me put out my videos and everything else and all that good stuff. It really does mean the world to me that y'all would dig in your pockets and want to help the dying do this thing because I'm all about it. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to do it as best I can, and it really does help me a lot. Keep it going, and there's no doubt about it. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, man. We are chilling here, man, with so many people here and everything else. Another super chat coming from Gambino Capo. Just keep piling it. Gambino Capo, Tef and Mo. Whose death would shock you the most? Here we go, Mo. Whose death would be the most shocking to you next season? Super in the chat, I want to know your answer too. Let's all answer Gambino Capo's question. It's a great one. Who would be the most shocking death of next season? Mo Genie, we're gonna start with you.
I'd have to say Jamie, just because I don't want to see. Just because I don't want to see Jamie. I don't.
Come on, man.
I don't want to see. I don't want to. Look, he's the only one that I can see easily dying. I can't see Sansa dying. I can't see Jon dying for a second time. I already predicted I think Arya is going to die, so that's not going to shock me. I already predicted that Arya is going to die. Brienne dying is not going to shock me. The Hound dying is not going to shock me. So the only person's death Tormund's death won't shock me. The only death that will shock me, Cersei's death won't shock me. Qyburn's death won't shock me. Bran's death won't shock me. The only one that'll shock me is if Jaime goes.
Well,
If
you're about to catch a taser in the ass because Jamie's out of here, brother. I guarantee you that fact without a doubt, man. I don't know if that's shocking enough. I think the death that would be most shocking would be Sam. I think if Sam died, it would be shocking. I don't think anyone plans on Sam dying. I think everyone thinks if anyone's going to make it in the end, Sam's going to make it in the end. People think he's going to write the book, that he's George R. R. Martin, yada, yada, yada. If Sam goes, I think Sam probably be the most shocking death of them all.
Okay, I'll change my answer. All right, for the people in the chat, yeah, Tyrion. Actually, now that I think about it, if Tyrion died, yeah, that would shock me more than Jaime dying. I have to say that I changed my answer. I'm going with Tyrion.
Yeah, Tyrion's. I could see you being shocked with Tyrion. Tyrion does seem like if anyone's gonna live, like Tyrion's on that. He's been through so much. He should live in the end type situation too. Almost a Sansa-ish type situation, but not the same because Tyrion has taken advantage of people. Sansa has been nothing but a victim this whole particular time. So I think that's a difference. But no, you know, we can accept your Tyrion answer way more than that Jaime answer, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, Tyrion. I don't even know what Tyrion's gonna do this season. Now that I think about it, I mean, is he gonna be a counselor through the wars? You know what I mean? Like Davos, we've already seen Davos is counseling Jon, and Mormont, Joe Mormont is counseling Dany because we've seen him at Winterfell with Dany. So where's Tyrion at?
He's just gonna be the guy to betray Dany in the end. He's a Lannister at heart. He's always been a Lannister. It's obvious to see this. We could just look at Quaithy's vision. And when Quaithy gives the vision to Daenerys, if you want to go with Quaithy and you think that Quaithy is on Daenerys' side, and she clearly says, you can check my video, I said this before, she clearly says Kraken and Dark Flame, Lion and whatever, I remember the order, Lion and Griffin, trust none of them. Remember the Undying. All right?
Oh, God. Quaithy's vision.
And so if she's telling you that she's saying that all those people are bad, and we know Mokoro, we know it's Victorion Greyjoy, and they say put Tyrion in there, and she says don't trust him. There's a reason why she's saying don't trust him, and that's the bottom line. If you look at any arc that you put Tyrion on, and you ask yourself, what is the arc of Tyrion Lannister's character? The only arc he has is that he's always wanted to be accepted as a Lannister. That's all he's ever wanted to be. So he's going to have to prove himself to be a true Lannister, and that's a true piece of golden doodoo. And that's what's going to happen, and that's why he's going to be out.
Damn, I mean, I could see him betraying her in the books. How's he gonna betray her in the show? He's like the first commander in the show.
Didn't he have that secret conversation with Cersei and then went to black and they didn't say everything they talked about? Then he just came out and said he had some agreement with her. She's gonna send the army. It's pretty. You would think that's quite possible.
Yeah, but she reneged on that, and she told Jaime she reneged.
She told Jaime, but she didn't tell Tyrion and them. You know, Tyrion could know that she don't plan on doing it from the beginning, just fronting. You know, he told Jon Snow, it's good to lie. You know, you gotta lie once in a while, right? So he could be doing that. What he said he was doing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I can't wait to see what happens with Cersei's baby.
Cersei's baby's gonna get miscarried. And that's it. She's gonna get the miscarriage on that. You know what I mean? No doubt about it.
She's gonna drink some moon juice, some moon tea.
Something's gonna happen. Euron Greyjoy is gonna knock it out of her, strangle her to death and kill her.
Damn. God, I hope he doesn't betray Dany. It would just ruin Tyrion's arc for me, man. I mean, okay, he's always wanted to be a Lannister, but his dad is dead. So who's he gonna prove he's a Lannister to?
Yeah,
Cersei doesn't like him, and Jaime's gone to help Jon. So who's he proving it to? Himself?
could be. I could be answering AK's question. I think it's possible, AK, that she could be her, but I doubt it. I don't know. I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm gonna say no. I say it's possible it could be her, but I'm gonna say no. I don't think so. When it's all said and done. Euron goes out in a blaze of glory and laughing. Mo, it will be an ending bittersweet. Blood is thicker than water for my man Big E. 9 nickels. Tyrion is most like his dad. He definitely is. There's no doubt about it. He killed his father. Any kinslayer's got to die, man. Anyone who's a kinslayer goes out. He's a kinslayer. He's got to go out, and that's the bottom line. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, he's definitely a kinslayer.
And that's it. The kinslayers don't live, and that's the bottom line. None of them. Just like you can consider Dany a kinslayer because she stood there and let her brother die in front of. She could have stopped that. And the fact that she could have stopped it and she didn't mean she's a kinslayer. That means she's gonna die too.
But you could say that she was a young, naive girl who was watching her brand new husband be disrespected, and the blood is on his hands.
She let that happen. She was like, a dragon can't be killed by fire. He's not a real dragon. She wasn't crying that he was dying. She was all about it. She was like, all right, bye. Next, you put a knife to my baby's belly, to my belly with my baby in it. I ain't got no love for you no more. You out of here, son. And that's it. That's what happened there.
Damn.
No doubt about it, you know what I mean? But now we're going to break up out of here, man. 'Cause we've been up in here for a while. I want people to be able to watch this afterwards, too, so we can't go for 5 hours and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So before we leave, as always, Teflon TV tradition, I'm the one who started this. I'm going to ask y'all to rep your hood. And please let the people know at the Don Tony Teflon, Mo Genie in the building, the Bear Bark Barbarians, Teflon TV, House Teflon, we pull the strings are worldwide. And put in the chat where you are from. Mo Genie, will you read that out for him and stuff? I'll read some out too. Can you see that, Mo?
Yeah, we got Smoking Too Hard in Chicago, Sailor Diva in Detroit, Chenny in Jersey, Shottown, Tokus, T-Baby from DC. T-Baby was hiding in the chat. I knew you was here. Pack Mule in Seattle, Vincent in Los Angeles, Drinks and Those Things, St. Louis, Miss Awesome, Ohio, All Trades, Louisville, Kentucky, Rock from Denver, Amanda representing St. Louis, Jenny from Pensacola, Ian from South Cal, the boy one at Toronto, Major from Western New York, Geordie Jedi from Newcastle, England, baby, Queen of Ice and Fire from Vero Beach, Jonas St. Louis, Glenn Carter from Columbia, Maryland. We got Alicia in Ohio, Carts from Missouri, Chrissy of Old Stone from NYC, Joe Swag from Pittsburgh, Lady Diligence in Miami, baby. You want the rest?
Yeah. No, keep running real quick. I'm trying to do something while I'm trying to see if I can do something special while you're reading that.
The Dog Show from Ohio, Phoenix Rising from Queens. Damn, we got the whole East Coast on lockout here. Carlos Martinez from Orlando, Salas Muscle from Nevada. Here comes the West Coast people. Moni G from Michigan, Matt from Edmonton, Ontario, Canada, DA from Atlanta, B More to Jersey, Jasmine from Charlotte, North Kakalaki, Brenda Starr. Baby. What?
North Kakalaka, baby. Keep it going. Yeah, I'm just competing. This thing's not loading up, and I probably can't run it for you.
Mozarty from Toronto, Vinay from Toronto, Greggy from Chicago. We got a lot of Canadians. Boss Mode from London, 88th Bus Stop from Columbus, Tanya Batoon from Mississauga. Oh, I know Mississauga. That's in Canada. I've been out there. I've been out there a couple times. OTDA from Tennessee, and I think that's a wrap.
That is what it is. And before we bounce up out of here, my people, because you know Don Tony Teflon got love for it, I'm going to try to do something because I always tell you where I'm from and stuff like that and everything else, Queens. I'm going to see if I could show you exactly where I'm from real quick in the Google Earth thing. Let me see if I can. Where the hell is the screen share thing? Where do you go do that thing real quick? I'm forgetting where stuff is at. All right, people, where's the damn screen share at? Jesus, is it on the side over here?
It's on one of the other pages.
Like what? What page? Oh, it's not. It's not on the main page.
There's like
I got
chat
it.
one.
I got it. I see it. Let me do it. Let me share this real quick for you. Stuff looks crazy. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna take care of it. All right, we screen sharing this right now. You seeing it, Mo?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. This is where I'm from. This is where I'm from right here, people. Let's see if we can take a look. 167, 160, 65, 47, 160th Street, Queens, New York. Right here. This is my building I grew up with right here. I grew up right here in this building. Right where you're looking at right there. This is called the Leicester. These two buildings are right here called the Leicester Towers. In order to live in this area of Leicester, you have to be an electrician. All right. That's why you see it's called the electric playground. I'll zoom in a little bit for you real quick right here. I don't know exactly how this works too good, so I'm not really good at it and all that. But yeah, right here is my building where I grew up. In fact, if I went around to the back and they showed the back, I could show you my exact bedroom window where I grew up and stuff. We did live in the tower right here, my family, for like 3 years, but then we moved away. So I'm going to show you something else real quick, right? Let me go, cause so I live right here. We moved down the block, Emerald Playground, PS 200, Palmanac School. Right behind PS 200 over here is the condominiums. In these condominiums, this is where Cool G Rap lived, Kid from Kid and Play lived, and MC Sham lived over here. If I scroll down all the way down Jewel Avenue over here, right past Palmanac Projects, over here it's called Georgetown Muse, and over in Georgetown Muse, that's where Salt from Salt and Pepper lived. And they all moved there after they got famous, not before they got famous. And once again, right here, that is where the Don Tony Teflon grew up in Queens, New York, 6547 160th Street. Oh, boop. All right.
Queens.
Just in case y'all ever wanted to know, you know what I mean? Because I know y'all asked before and stuff like that. Have asked me, so, oh, you know, where you grew up at and all this good stuff like that. Let me bring up the chat real quick and stuff like that. But that is exactly where I grew up in Queens and stuff like that. So, yeah, thank all y'all for coming out here, chilling with the Don and Mo Genie. As I said again, come back Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be jumping it off again, setting it off and talking more about this trailer, more about the upcoming season. And if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please spread this across the realm, and please subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.